What can BYU show against West Virginia on Friday night in Provo? Jake Hatch of Locked On BYU Cougars is here to discuss just that. Look, I've never seen anything like this, Jake. I've never in my life seen a team do the exact opposite of what I predict them to do on this show. This is well over a 90% hit rate at this point. All I needed for a winning week, which for my best bets, I desperately needed a winning week, was for BYU to cover 6.5 against lowly Colorado. And then I checked the score after the first quarter, and it's 14-3. And the Buffs are up. And I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. They're going to lose that. All right, and then they didn't. So going into this game against West Virginia, I'll save my prediction for later. Make of that what you will, BYU fans. Do you see the Cougars as one of the best teams in the Big 12, or do you still think they have something to prove? Because I am in camp 2 at the moment. Like them, don't, love it. I am getting the like it size at Cold Stone. I am not getting the love it just yet.
Not to make this a boring segment, but I'm right there with you, Spencer. Here's the deal. BYU, they have played Portland State, Stanford, East Carolina, Colorado, now West Virginia this week. Those are not world beaters by any means, but following this, you start next week. Arizona, Utah, Iowa State, Texas Tech, TCU, Cincinnati. That's your next 6 games. That stretch is going to be about as brutal as it could be for any Big 12 team this year. So I'm with you right now. I'm still waiting for them to, I guess, in some ways prove themselves. But after this game against West Virginia, that's when it's on, and we will really find out who the real BYU is.
What happened last week? Did they just listen to the show and think, well, Spencer picked us to win picks, so we're making this a sweaty night in Boulder?
I think that they were thinking about how thoroughly they dominated Colorado in December in the Alamo Bowl and felt like they were going to steamroll the Buffaloes once again. And I will give massive credit to Colorado. I was in the stands there in Boulder watching this unfold in person. Colorado came out offensive line and defensive line and pummeled BYU in the early goings of that game. And I got to give them credit because I thought that was going to be a one-sided affair. I thought BYU's trench play was going to outduel Colorado. They came in with a point to prove. Coach Prime, I think, made it clear to his guys that there was some payback, obviously, in the offing there. But the nice part was BYU found a way to wriggle out from underneath that 14-0 hole that they created for themselves and won this football game. But, yeah, I think that they absolutely started feeling good about themselves and got punched in the mouth.
Do you think that can be a good thing? That they go on the road, get humbled a bit, escape with the win, just find a way to keep yourself in control of your Big 12 championship fate, but you also get a little wake-up call of, oh, right, this is the Big 12. You don't steamroll through anyone. The team that was picked to finish last a season ago won the league.
Yeah, I think it was a wake-up call saying, hey, this is Big 12 play, and any team on any given week, we've seen how crazy and topsy-turvy this league is. You mentioned Arizona State going from literally picked last place last year to winning the league. That shows you how crazy this league is. Any team on any given Saturday can upset somebody else in this league, and I think BYU learned that lesson early on. I think they will be better for it because I think they'll be laser-focused on a game like this week against West Virginia where they're pretty decided favorites.
Yeah, they are. 18.5 points last I checked, according to our friends at FanDuel. They're at home. Now, I could really easily spin this into upset talk, and our guy Mountaineer Paul at Locked On West Virginia feels good. There's not a game. I don't know that he'll ever pick the Mountaineers to lose a football game. I think they could play 2019 LSU, and he'd say West Virginia's getting it done. Like, they're going to find a way. They're going to dig deep, and Rich Rod's going to pull some magic. Okay. So, Friday night, off a game in which they played just all right, short week. Friday night games feel like they get a little bit crazy. West Virginia has punched above their weight once this year. That was at home, but still, they've made a change at quarterback. Nico Marchiol isn't there, might enter the transfer portal with the injury situation. We're not here to discuss all of that, but I could kind of sort of talk myself into West Virginia hangs around in this game, but I don't think it's about West Virginia. It's about BYU. They did not play the way they are capable a week ago, and they almost really got bit in the butt for it. Yep. If they come out and play with their hair on fire, behind the crowd at LaVell Edwards Stadium and they play really motivated football, this game will not be close.
That's the hope, because you're right. They did get a wake-up call. They took that punch, and to their credit, they punched back and found a way to get out of Colorado with that win. But I think it absolutely served as the wake-up call that they needed, quite frankly, Spencer. I think they started thinking, okay, we're as good as we were last year, and I think that Colorado win, as close as it was, showed them, hey, maybe not. And you have to stay focused on games like this. West Virginia has been able to punch above their weight. Yes, they've had numerous quarterback injuries. You look at their offense in general, it's banged up beyond belief. Offensive line, running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks all injured, it feels like, across the board for West Virginia. BYU needs to obviously stay focused on this and not be looking past them at an Arizona or a Utah and say, we're focused on the here and now. And should they do it, Spencer, I think they're very capable of running away with this victory.
Yeah, I just think a lot of things favor BYU in this spot. It's a pretty long ways to travel, and I have been consistent and mostly right on this show that, you got to have a lot of things going in your favor to win in these long trips. That's why I was so impressed with Oregon's win against Penn State, with Ohio State's win at Washington last week. Like these teams that are going really far for conference games, it has not always gone particularly well. What's the distance from Provo to Morgantown?
Oh, somewhere in the 2,500 mile range, I think.
That's a long way.
It's at least 2,000. I know that.
Yeah, that's a long way to go. So BYU needs to do what two things in order to win this game, as they should, 34-10.
Run the football like they have all year, and we're talking like 200 plus yards. That's what they've been averaging all season long. They take care of that, and I think take care of the football. Do not give away the ball, which Bear Bachmeier has not done so yet in 4 career starts. He's the only BYU quarterback in their program history to have 10 plus touchdowns and 0 turnovers. And we're talking about the pantheon of BYU quarterbacks, including Jim McMahon, Steve Young, Ty Detmer, Zach Wilson. Some of the greats have never had a start like he has. Take care of that football. Do not give away short fields to West Virginia, and I think you'll handle your business at home.
I'm scared for BYU's fans' sake to make a score prediction on this game because
let me just say this to BYU fans that may be watching this or hearing this. Spencer has a really weird ability to affect the outcomes for BYU. So
this is true.
18.5, Spencer. Take them to not cover. How about that?
Okay, all right. We'll go full 2024 BYU game predictions here. Give me BYU to win a slugfest 10-7. 10-7. BYU's getting it done on Friday night. West Virginia is going to put the fear of I don't even know what into the hearts and minds of Cougar fans across the state.
Translation, that means it's like what I'm predicting, 31-13 BYU. There we go.
No, that's what you think. But it's what I think that we know matters above all else. Jay Cash, Locked On BYU. Great as always, my man. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.